I'm going to show you some features of the MindTap course within Solomon. So you're going to click into that title under My Courses. And this is what it looks like for the students as well. So this is the Solomon text and the platform all together. So it's broken down into the chapters. So a couple of features I want to highlight here. We'll go into chapter 1. First, it's going to start out with the why does the process of science matter to you? So it's trying to connect real world, authentic life experiences and events to the text itself. So students can start with that as a practice before they get into the reading, trying to make those connections. So let's go into the chapter 1 reading next. All right, so here's chapter 1 of Solomon. So you're going to see you can flip the page by turning the right, pressing the right arrow. All of the vocabulary is going to be bolded in blue so they can click on it if they want definitions. And a couple of other things I want to highlight about the ebook itself. So if you look up in the right hand corner, there are a couple of icons that students really like to use. The first one is probably the most popular. It's the read aloud feature. A lot of students like to listen to the books as audiobooks instead of reading them. And so we do have a read aloud feature where you can change the voice, you can change the speed of the voice, and it will read aloud the actual book. And this is something that they can use in the mobile app as well. So if they are out and about, they're walking to class, they're in the car, whatever it may be, they can use this feature if they need to do that. The second one changes the text size if they would like to do that. And then the third is a bookmark. So it does store all of the bookmarks and highlights and notes that students make throughout the reading and populates them in a study tool that I can show you a little bit later. So another thing that they like to do is highlight in the actual text. So you would highlight just like you would a normal print book. You can pick your highlight color, and the book saves all of the highlights and stores them, like I said, for you. Another thing you can do is add a note. So if you'd like to add notes along the way, you can do that and save them. And they'll populate here. And then finally, another thing that you can do within the ebook itself is you can add your own flashcard. So if students are reading and they feel like it's an important key term, they can make their own flashcard along the way. One great feature is that a lot of students like to use flashcards to study. I know my former students used Quizlet quite a bit. So instead of having to Google and go to other sources to study, they have all flashcards for every vocabulary term in the text already built into this platform. So it's broken down by different sections, and you can see there's 77 terms in this section, and you can just go through it and use them to study. This is an icon on the right hand toolbar. It's an index card icon that students can click into and use. All right, so that is a little bit about the ebook, and you can see the images that we looked at in the Instructor Resource Center within the text itself as well. All right, so next we have the Learn It and Apply It sections. So the Learn It sections, you can customize this if you want these to count towards a grade or if you want them to count towards practice. So we'll go into one of them. And the great thing about the Learn It sections within MindTap is that they're going to give students some text on the left-hand side, and then there are going to be questions on the right. So it's a really easy way to navigate both the reading and the text, and then they will answer their questions. And once they submit, they will get feedback. So if they got it wrong, they will get feedback why it is incorrect. I got all these wrong. And then if they got it right, they also get feedback. In case they did guess, they will be able to see why it is the correct answer. Another great feature is that you can give them a certain number of attempts. So it's set to 10 attempts if you want to leave it as that, so that they can practice and gain a better understanding through these different attempts. You can also customize that if you prefer less attempts. All right, and then underneath the Learn It is what we call Apply It. And here you have homework and quizzes. And one of the best features is a case study each chapter. So for chapter 1, you'll see this is the case study, Living on Arsenic, and it'll give some text. And within the text, they will actually answer questions along the way. So they'll select their answers here. There might be drop-down answers. There might be multiple choice questions. So it's kind of a mixture along the way. So that is the case study for chapter 1, and you'll see that in the chapters under Apply It. All right, one more thing I want to emphasize that kind of sets Solomon and Star apart. Both Solomon and Star have this within the MindTap. Under additional resources, we have critical thinking case activities where they're grouping concepts from multiple chapters so students can apply them. So for example, this first one is grouping concepts from chapters 1 through 6. So if you want to utilize these, they're at the bottom. So you'll click into that. This is types of proteins and their functions. So we'll give a scenario, and then when you go on the next page, they will give a reading on that side, some visuals, and then some questions to check their understanding on those chapter concepts from 1 to 6. All right, so those are all features of the Solomon MindTap. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. My email is laura.miller@cengage.com.